Hey, how you guys doing? Welcome back to another episode of Souljatalk the podcast. I'm your host, Staff Sergeant McPherson, and on this show we discuss military topics with current and prior service members. Today I have Specialist Prioleau with me. Specialist Prioleau, go ahead and kind of introduce yourself to the people.
Hey, how are y'all doing? So my name is Specialist Prioleau. I am currently a 68 X-ray here at Fort Bragg. This is my first duty station where I joined the military August 2020, so I did come in as a specialist. So I am still a beginner with learning about the military culture and traditions and customs and traditions. So
Okay, where you from?
I'm from Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay, so you say you came into the Army at when?
I came in the Army August 2020.
Okay.
About 2 years ago.
Okay, so when you first came in, so what made you join the Army?
Well, for me, like I mentioned, so I did come into the college after I graduated college because I was just at the stage where I wasn't yet ready to go and get a job with my bachelor's yet. I guess I was afraid of what was to come. So I have military parents, Army parents, retired. So the main thing they always talk to me about is, hey, you need to join the Army. It's going to be, right up your alley. You'll do great, easy. After the military, you'll come in a specialist. It'll be a good next step after college. So I was like, hey, might as well. Next 4 years, I don't have anything to lose as far as that. And I was like, I think that I would like just that extra stepping stone that I felt that I would get by coming to the military before I really entered the workforce. And then I just wanted them to help put me into position to get my next degree through them. And I just thought that it was the best decision for me to do at that time.
Okay, so when you joined, what's your primary MOS?
My primary MOS is 68 X-ray. That is a behavioral health specialist.
Okay, can you tell the people, as far as being a behavioral health specialist, what does that consist of?
So being a behavioral health specialist in the Army, we are trained to be the first eyes on service members as they come into the behavioral health clinic or office, and we're the ones that they will talk with about what brought them in today, what they're hoping to speak with the behavioral health provider about, and we're here to basically help get them comfortable, talk to them about if they have any immediate concerns, any safety risks that we need to be aware of, so that way we can get them help and get them treated and get them seen and talking to a provider as soon as possible.
Okay, so as far as behavioral health, I thought behavioral health, say somebody going through some things personally, they would come to see you guys, right?
Yes, so if you are going through anything as far as your mental health, we are the ones to call. So when you're feeling stressed, when you're feeling like you are having signs of depression, signs of anxiety, any signs that we know that can't be physically, medically treated, then you'll come to behavioral health and we'll get you situated.
Okay, as far as coming to behavioral health, once a soldier or something make an appointment, they come in. I know because when I went, I had to fill out like a questionnaire before I could even see a tech. I had to fill out a questionnaire asking me questions about like, am I having suicidal thoughts or have I stuff like that. So the reason for that? Like, why would they ask that?
So what he's speaking of are the BHDP measures, which is behavioral health data measures, and that's where we just kind of like the audit, the GAD-7, like the seizures. Those are questions that are meant to for you to answer, and it allows us to dissect that information and know whether or not you might be suffering from suicidal thoughts or intentions or suicidal ideation, homicidal ideation. It helps us to figure out if you have maybe substance abuse problems, maybe if you're suffering from PTSD, suffering from depression, suffering from anxiety. Those are the things that those measures are helping a provider see before you even walk in the room. Questions that you might not even be aware that you might have going on, but we will know just based off how you answer those questions. So it's not meant to be reverse psychology, but it's meant to help us know the professional way to approach what really is going on with you.
Okay, so once that questionnaire is filled out, I remember going to the seeing one of the NCOs that was a tech, and he was asking me questions. So what questions do you ask after once the patient is in, I guess, when y'all admit the patient?
So it is two separate scenarios on service members that are coming in to be seen, and that is either someone that is actually scheduled for an appointment and someone that is coming in as a walk-in, because those are two different cases. And as you can guess, when someone is coming in as for a regular follow-up appointment, then they've more than likely already spoken with a provider, so we know what's going on with them. They just need to fill out the questionnaire, the survey, and then wait to be seen by the provider. Now, on the other instance, a walk-in, that's where the questions are a tad bit different, because apparently something brought you in that was not expected by us, or more than likely not expected by you, and you came in. So on those days where we get walk-ins, we're going to be real specific with our questions. We're going to say, hey, are you, we're going to ask safety risk questions. So are you feeling any suicidal, homicidal thoughts right now? Are you able to leave here? We can trust that you'll go home, get home safely. Or if not, then we'll make sure that we get you seen today in a reasonable amount of time to make sure that you are safe. And when it just comes to an intake, which is your first appointment that you're coming in for with the provider, then all that is just us as behavioral health techs. We're going to ask you the questions that allow us to get a good idea about who you are, what brought you in, if this is your first time seeing behavioral health, maybe at this duty station, maybe somewhere else. And that way we can take you to the provider, so that way you can just get right on into what the nitty gritty, basically, because you already got the hard part done with us.
Okay. Does it varies? Like, does it vary? Does the provider varies on what they talk about while y'all with them?
So as far as if the providers vary, if you mean as far as which provider you may specifically talk to, so the number one provider you'll more than likely come in and talk to is a EBH provider, which is embedded behavioral health. They are the ones that can pretty much assist you with your overall and general problems. Now, when it comes to if you have specific concerns, and that's where we'll start getting you in, specifically with a SUDC provider, which is substance use disorder clinical care, or the ones that are going to help you with any type of addiction. Then we'll start getting you into maybe someone you just need one-on-one therapy with. If we need to get you in with a psychiatrist. If you have a dependent, you'll be more than likely seen at the family advocacy program, because they're going to help your dependent be seen through behavioral health. So it just really depends on what the concern is, whether or not we know who you'll be moving forward with throughout your treatment, or whether or not you need to see a specific provider that day.
Okay, that's what I was asking, because like, say somebody come in there for drugs and alcohol,
right?
Y'all send them to a drugs and alcohol provider, right?
That'll just be so any provider can assist with that, because most of them all of them are trained to get to what the bigger concern is. Then from there, they'll kind of refer you where they need to. But if it is, and we know, if the provider knows that your main concern is substance abuse, or just any substance concerns, and that's where they'll make sure they get you in with a licensed mental health counselor. They'll get you in with a substance abuse provider, and they're the ones that they're gonna get you into those groups where you're gonna get around other patients that also deal with the same issues that can't be treated on just a one-on-one basis. That they really have to intervene and take those measures to get you, just to get you help.
I got you. So, far as like behavioral health, I I know that it's different topics that fall under behavioral health. So we're gonna kind of go through like different I guess you say subjects on how each one of these things could contribute to your behavior health or contribute to what might bring someone into your office. For instance, how important do you think the social aspect of someone's life could affect their behavioral health?
Well, when it comes to the social aspect, we might get a lot of soldiers that are coming in because maybe they're getting adjusted to the military lifestyle. They're getting adjusted to being away from home, being away from family and familiar faces and friends. So they might have a hard time getting out and really exploring all there is to do in a military town and the surrounding areas. So they might come to us because they're like, hey, I'm having a hard time making friends. I'm having a hard time getting along with people. Maybe that they feel that they are limited. Maybe they want to be friends with maybe an NCO, and they have to get adjusted to the fact that NCOs and junior enlisted can't fraternize. They can't be, they can't hang out together in that type of way. So in the social aspect, some people might even just need to talk about how they might be having a little too much fun outside of the work day, and that might be at a sacrifice. They might be actually sacrificing their work performance if they are having any type of social endeavors that are not healthy and that are questionable to just them being a soldier or being a professional.
I got you. So, as far as the social, it does say family and community engagement, cultural inclusiveness, peer-to-peer networks, leadership skills, and unit cohesion. So, as far as the social, it is programs that soldiers can get involved in. As far as the BOSS program, which is basic, better opportunities for single soldiers. So that's a route that some soldiers can take when it comes to far as the social things, because I know how it could be sometimes when soldiers they might, for the holidays, they might not have nowhere to go or something like that, and that type of stuff, it affects people. It affects it affects people. So that's as far as the social, that would eventually have something with behavioral health. So far as the physical aspect, how do you think like physical working out could contribute to your behavioral health?
Okay, well, if it comes to just why somebody might be brought in just due to physical reasons, well, I know one thing. If you're like me or the regular person, that when your mental health is not right, you're not going to feel like getting up to go work out. You're not going to have that motivation or any type of motivation and ambition to go and do things as far as your physical health, because at that time it starts to become more of a luxury to be able to perform those things and actually perform them to maximize your performance with those activities. So in that instance, you can tell, like, I know a lot of soldiers come to us and say, I just don't feel like doing things that I used to do. Like, I used to like to get up and go work out. Now I just come home and I lay down and I just go to sleep, or sometimes in the physical aspect, soldiers might be lagging, or they might be walking slower than usual. There's NCOs might notice that they're maybe just not being as active in any trainings or talking as much. Just different ways that you can tell that a soldier is not feeling or acting as their usual self.
Yeah, so far as physical, it says strength and agility, aerobic capacity, muscular endurance, and functional mobility. So I guess those things can contribute as far as your mental health is basically staying in shape and exercising. It is good for like stress and stuff like that. So far as financial, how do you think sometimes far as financial, how could that affect someone and eventually lead them to making a behavioral health appointment?
Well, as y'all know, we have a lot of soldiers coming in out of high school. They never have been taught how to manage their finances, how to budget, how to spend wisely. So that can lead to some soldiers maybe putting their money in the wrong places. You know how they say they like to come in and get the Camaro that they say you can only get when you get into the military. Yeah. You know, they might they're not smart about their money, or just at a stage where somebody might get married and they feel like they don't know how to go forward with providing for their family. They never had to do so. And just all the things surrounding being able to just know how to take on that stress with finances in the military. So they might lead someone to come to us because they want to work on the stress, like how to not get stressed when they feel that they're feeling overwhelmed about their financial habits at the time. And then from there, we'll get them sent to actual financial advisors that can actually assist them with their finances more in depth. But we'll make sure we touch on the behavioral aspect, which is the stress, if it's causing depression or separation within your family.
Okay. So, yes, finances, it says debt management skills, responsible money management, insurance, emergency planning, and investment wealth strategies. So, yes, I do feel like finances will contribute to your behavioral health if you're not properly managing your money and stuff like that. So, another one was spiritual. So, how do you think, as far as spiritual, how could that affect someone's behavioral health or mental health? If I'm saying it right, that's right. So behavioral health is like, it falls, all that is in the same category, right?
Well, so with the new holistic health and fitness, right? A big point that they're trying to make now is that you can't neglect someone's spiritual health, because a lot of someone's spiritual being is what kind of leads them to why they do a lot of what they do. Someone might say that, oh, my spiritual reasons led me to the military. So even though we're in the Army, we can't neglect that, hey, somebody might believe in a higher power that allows them to get up every day and have motivation to come to work, be a competent soldier, and do what the mission entails. And if we can start tackling how that actually will help the soldier be better, if we can start talking about, oh, okay, so we know how we can what we need to do to actually when it comes to spiritual health, we know how we can actually relate to that soldier. What actually gives that soldier motivation to find their own ways of actually getting to the root of what they might be concerned with, and how we can help them use their spiritual health to actually be a better and well-rounded soldier.
Okay. So spiritual, it says sense of identity and belonging, awareness of meaning and purpose, embracing service core values, and ability to cope. So I feel like that's important with the ability to cope, because I know a lot of soldiers, they go through things with leadership. They might be going through things with their leadership. They might be going through things with their family. So spiritual, that can kind of keep you kind of grounded and kind of give you a sense of self. That way you're not getting too down about things, and you won't eventually lead to making a behavioral health appointment. So as far as behavioral health appointments, so do y'all refer like chaplains and stuff like that?
So now, we always have the resources to help you get to where you need to be. Now, when it comes to scheduling a chaplain, now chaplains don't work in behavioral health. They work in the Department of Ministry, I believe. Now, that is where you'll go to your unit. You'll ask them, hey, who is our chaplain? Who is our designated chaplain? I want to speak with them. And usually it's about 2 or 3 that may be in a affairs office, and you'll just go there and you'll speak with them about what you're concerned with. If it's just with a chaplain, because of course with chaplains, that's not documented, that's not in your records. So that's where people want to go and get that more so spiritual, the spiritual answers that they're looking for, without feeling like they're vulnerable to the paper that comes with being seen by a behavioral health provider.
Okay. Yeah, so I was just asking that because, like, what if a soldier might come in and say they having problems, like if they have spiritual problems. So like, I guess if they not, like spiritual problems. Like, do you guys like? Have you ever had a case like that where somebody said they like spiritual problems to where like they might not believe in a God or something like that?
So now that is a question that we ask a service member when they're being seen by us. We'll say, hey, do you have any religious preference? Some may say yes, some may say no. But that's just something that a provider would like to keep in mind, because some providers, even though that's not how they're supposed to lead a session, but if that provider knows that they are indeed faith-based, then that'll help them know how to answer and talk to that service member, because they know, okay, this service member is faith-based. So we can't come with very superficial answers. We got to get really, in the mind. We have to really get in the heart and the soul of that soldier to know, okay, this is how we're going to be able to help this soldier.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it says medical and dental preventive care. So you got any idea on how medical and preventive dental care could like affect someone's behavior / mental health?
Well, I'm not sure about dental, but I just know they're just with their medical health, that when we have service members that come in with any type of concerns that we know need to be medically treated, that's where we start getting into the psychiatrist, because now it's starting to get to where it's actually a mental illness. And that's where psychiatrists come in, because now they're here to help prescribe medication or prescribe what that soldier might need to get better, because they need more than just a talking to. They need more than just to be understood. They actually need assistance medically, because something is medically going on with this service member.
Mm-hmm. So how would you think someone's environment can contribute to can eventually lead to a soldier making a behavioral health appointment?
I can
You can go ahead.
I guess with the environment, I think that a service member just might just have that situational awareness. We talk about situational awareness a lot. And they probably understand that they're not making the best of decisions. They might be around maybe soldiers that don't really care about their career in the Army, or just are not good influences on their service members. So they're probably like, hey, or not even just with that. We might have service members that feel like the environment, they're in toxic environments. They want to figure out how to get out of their environments. Service members say, hey, I don't like this unit. Is there any way I can get to another unit? And that's where they'll come speak with us. We'll get down to the real reason why they're having troubles in their environment, and then from there, that's where they'll start reaching out, talking to your chain of command, talking to your commander, first sergeant, to see what it is that can be done with the environment that is causing self-destruction within the service member, or just creating a decline in a soldier's mental health.
Yes, you're right. So it does say it said heat and cold, altitude, noise, air quality, and whole body vibration. So yeah, as far as the environment, that could affect someone's behavioral health in a way. I mean, like, I feel like soldiers who might have if you go when I was the NCO, like, we did barracks inspections. So if you walk into a soldier's room and they got clothes everywhere, dishes not washed, like stuff like that, that stuff leads over into how a soldier may behave. Sometimes that's how I feel. Mm-hmm. So that environment and stuff that could lead to that type of behavior. So as far as nutritional, how do you think like foods and stuff and different type of nutrition could affect someone's behavioral health?
Well, I know, because I don't want to touch on the nutritional aspects because I'm not a nutritionist, but I know a question that we ask when service members come in: have they experienced any purging or binge eating? What that is, we ask them, have they experienced that? Just say, for instance, binge eating, which they might eat 5 to 5 pieces in one sitting, that the average person is not eating 2 to 5 boxes of pizza at one time. Or you have people that might purge that, so they might have a box of pizza and they know that they're not supposed to eat that much pizza, and then they immediately try to throw it up, or they might try to take a laxative, or they might try to go work out at the gym for 5 to 8 hours just to get that one box of pizza off. So we start to touch on those aspects, like, are you not eating? Have you seen any changes in your diet? Have you seen any changes in how much you're eating throughout the day? Are you eating the same amount of meals you used to before you experience maybe the depression or the stress? And service members might say, hey, at first I ate 3 full-blown meals a day, and now I can barely pick up a piece of crackers, So that's where a behavioral health provider will touch on with you.
Yes. So nutritional, it says access to quality foods, mission-driven macro and micronutrient requirements, dietary supplement use, healthy dietary choices. So I know when I eat certain foods, it does make me feel lazy. I know different foods that you might eat could affect your behavioral health, because I know, like, once I eat if I eat a heavy meal, I'm gonna be lazy and I'm gonna be sleepy, and I know
itis.
yeah. So I don't eat fruits like that. I don't know why, but I feel like them type of foods, they does contribute to your behavioral health. But yeah. So the next one was psychological. It says proactive recovery for thriving, cognitive function, mental acuity, and self-actualization. So as far as psychological, how would you think that contributes to behavioral health?
Well, behavioral health is everything psychological. Everything we touch on is everything in the mind. What the cliche part about us are the cliche part about us is, because it's kind of like, you might be going through something right now, but I can't tell, and that's where you can only relay that, and somebody can honestly, truly understand, hey, this service member is actually going through something. Yeah, they might come and laugh and play. They might be acting normal, and then that's where we start to get into, hey, we need to start paying more attention to service members, because of suicidal rate. You have to pay attention to the signs, because you might not see anything wrong with the service member, and you think that they were the happiest person you ever met, but yet, you don't know what people go through when they go home. So as behavioral health, we want to get all that out. We want to know what's going on in your mind and your brain that is making you experience life in a not so positive way. We want to talk about that. Like, let's get it out. We know it's cliche, but that's what we're here for. And we're trying to desensitize that stigma.
Yeah, so psychological. So that would be like things like positive thinking. Getting good sleep, because I know sleep does help you manage stress, help you grab control of your emotions. So that's another thing, being emotional aware. So what I was saying about the positive thinking, so if someone say someone an example would be the positive thinking is, so if you having a bad day, you want to always make sure you looking at the positive side of things. You don't want to get down about what happened that day. Like, far as it's always a I don't know what the word I'm looking for. It's
always a brighter tomorrow.
Nah, like, it's always a lesson in whatever you're going through. So you might want to. So if you're having a bad day, just always look at it to what did you learn that day, or that's positive thinking. So you want to make sure you always looking at what you learned for that day and stuff like that. So
gratitude, self-reflective thinking, just introspection in general. Just that's where it comes down to having a journal and writing down something that went good today. Something that can be as little as you had the tissue, the toilet paper right there this morning. You had to change it, something small.
Yeah, so in closing, especially Prioleau, you got anything for the soldiers out there in closing, anything you want to tell them or anything like that?
I think the last thing, just behavioral health. We are here to see you. I know that it's still a stigma on seeing behavioral health providers because you don't want anything documented in your records. But I'm here to tell you that that's not important. The important part is you coming to get help, you coming to be seen, and you're not keeping everything that you're going through in your mind, because yes, you might not have that support at home, but you have that support available to you, which is what the Army provides to you free of cost. And we love the people in behavioral health. We love what we do, all of us. Whether you have a psychology degree, whether you went to school to get your doctorate in it, if you actually went and got a specialized degree as far as just licensed clinical substance counselors, we all love what we do when it comes to mental health, and we want to talk about it. It's not cliche to us, okay? So make sure you go and sit down with your post behavioral health provider whenever you feel that you need to, and make time for it.
Yeah, so with that being said, especially Prioleau, my bad. You do have a YouTube channel, right?
I have a YouTube, and you need to make sure you follow me because I do talk about what I do more in depth. I just talk about the experiences in the military that I have as an older soldier, a black woman in the military, and just everything else about my unique experience and my life surrounding my everyday life as an active duty soldier. So that is KPTV, and we can leave that in the description box so you can go and subscribe to my channel if you want to hear more of what I have to say. And I appreciate being on your podcast.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
So there you guys go. This has been another episode of Souljatalk the podcast, and I'll see you guys in formation.